Good afternoon, everybody. We have Achim, Union Bytes YouTube channel. Some of you may be following his work. He's our next guest in Made with Godot. So we just worked out the time zone differences, and then we'll catch up with him right now to see his awesome tool that got my attention. It's a pixel painting tool, I would summarize, and we'll get to the nitty-gritty details soon. But maybe we should start with the introduction. So, Ahim, would you like to talk about your background, whether you are a game developer or you do some other job during the day? We have a lot of people interested in Godot from all different backgrounds. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I in my main job, I work as a chemical technical assistant. So I don't have a lot of to do with programming, but I started programming already really early. When I was young, I started with Quick Basic. I guess I was 13 or 14, and yeah, over the time I programmed a lot with Quick Basic, continued with Pure Basic, which is also basic dialect, but a bit bigger community in the later. And yeah, in Pure Basic, I even programmed my own 3D engine with OpenGL.
Cool.
And later on, even I made a 2D Vulkan renderer, which I never published. But this I made in C++ and yeah, with WorldCom.
That's interesting. It's a different mix of programming languages you have there. And so in your day job, you basically, in layman terms, blow things up at the lab. And so then you come back to the computer and write code, and yeah, totally different field. But so you are mostly into building tools then, I'm guessing, because you said Vulkan renderer and other things. So it's more on the tool development side than making games, because I see people having an interest in either making games or building tools. So that's interesting that we have these two major disciplines.
Yeah, normally I wanted always to make games, to create worlds, but for the way to there, for example, when I made it with Pure Basic, there was not the possibilities to do it. So the 3D engine in Pure Basic was really limited. So I started to program my own one. And after I recognized it's too much work for this for one person, and then that's the reason I switched later to Godot, then rather than doing my own 3D engine, because for one person, or let me say two, sometimes someone helps me. It's too much work.
Too much work. Yeah, like where is the trade-off? Like you do all the hard work, you want the game engine to do the heavy lifting, but then the amount of time you spend on building the engine, is it now worth actually building games with it? Then yeah, I often hear this, like, and then you kind of build that engine for making the game idea you have right now in your mind, but then for the next game you start refactoring the engine, then it turns into another project. So that's the benefit of using game engines versus writing your own. However, I think now would be a good segue into your tool, but maybe before that, I think to tie in, based on what you have said, building engines and flexibility, sort of extending, I found Godot being at that sort of sweet spot, because you don't have to build everything from scratch. It's a great tool. It's lightweight. but using its plugin system, you could bring in your own custom elements to it. And actually, using Godot, you could create tools that will also help build your game too. And your creation, which we will talk about soon, you'll do screen sharing and let us see. It's one of those tools that will help you and other game designers and developers to actually, you know, expedite the process. Basically, I was so excited to see your work. Um, it reminded me of Substance Painter. So if you would like to screen share and then get us started, I think now would be a good time.
Yes.
Because to the viewers, while we are having the screen sharing going on, this tool for Godot developers may actually replace your need for Substance Painter. I'm making a bold claim. As the creator, you may have different plans, but this is exciting. So this is a tool built with Godot.
Yes.
So
I mean, I don't think it will replace or in competition with Substance Painter.
yeah.
I guess the target of my tool is different. In Substance Painter, I recognized it's maybe not so good for low resolution modeling or for sprite modeling. And a lot of 2D engines even support at the moment normal maps and lightning. And yeah, to draw these sprites and low-res textures is quite hard at the moment.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, the reason I made this tool is I played Valheim, the game, and this has already such low-res textures. I liked this mixture of low-res textures and this modern effect like bloom and reflections and such stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make something similar, but to make the textures for it was a bit, hard.
Yeah.
So I thought I make fast a tool. And after I shared a few pictures and the video, a lot of people liked this tool.
Yeah.
And so I started to add much more features to it. So and that's the reason I'm now at this state.
Yeah.
So then I will start the editor. So we call it Union Bytes Painter.
Yeah, this interface already is impressive. I mean, without actually seeing the functionality. So to anyone out there, you could use Godot engine to build really professional looking software applications. So this is one of them. So go ahead.
So I released recently, a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago, I don't know. I released a video where I made a head. This one.
Yeah, that got my attention. That was the YouTube video. We'll share the link in the description so people can actually see that video. But walk us through this process.
So I made this head, and when I made the video and this head, I was only able to paint on the 3D and on the 2D surface. And in the video, you see that the preview screen, the 3D preview screen, was really small because you couldn't use at this moment. But what I made the last few weeks is to add drawing. To drawing on the 3D mesh.
Awesome.
To get closer to Substance paint, for example.
Yeah, the video, as you said, you were only able to paint the 2D the sprite, but now you're able to actually do the 3D painting too. Awesome.
That's the reason I increased the the 3D space.
Yeah, it was on the top right corner, if I recall. There was a preview of the. Yeah. This looks different than the video.
Yes, exactly, and it's closer to Substance Painter in this case in the layout.
Yes.
But this may be something good. I guess people are feeling more familiar with this if they use Substance Painter.
I
don't
think
know.
it's intuitive that people kind of, instead of guessing like what they are doing in 2D space, how it's going to map to the 3D sort of object, the whole projection system works. In our minds, I think it's much more intuitive that we kind of point on a spot in the 3D view. I think that's really, very, very important for people. I'm glad that there is actually this new feature here.
Yes, I mean, for normal drawing, I prefer to draw here. But if you cross two surfaces, yeah, to UV islands to
Yeah.
cross to, it's easier to paint.
Ah.
That's the main reason I made it. I recognized when I made the head and I made these destroyed parts.
Uh-huh.
I had really struggled to find the spots.
Oh, so
So
it's like in two islands,
yeah,
exactly at which point you should paint so they kind of match in the 3D. Yeah, otherwise they are going to be off.
yes,
Yeah,
that's the reason
yeah,
I implemented this tool.
makes perfect sense. So like there's a convenience factor, but there's also cutting down the back and forth part, the guesswork on the 2D, the perfect scenario. Cool.
Also, the 3D part gets more important when I use filter or I baking. I also implemented last week the possibility to bake. For this, I prepared some a building. This is a building I just made here in the software. I mean, the model I made in Blender.
Okay.
Exported as OBJ,
OBJ?
yes, OBJ,
Okay. Uh-huh.
and imported in my tool.
Cool.
To paint on it. Also, what is planned for the future to adjust the UV islands to match a pixel perfect alignment of the texture.
And that is planned because of a limitation or some kind of improvement?
Yeah, it depends which resolution your texture is, and sometimes some pixel are between. You can't match the pixel perfect, and to correct this, I will make it possible to adjust the UV. Then you can export the OBJ again with the corrected UV positions.
I see. So you are basically, after you are done with the painting, you are going to readjust the UVs to take more advantage of that pixel perfect painting you just created. Okay.
Yes, so
I see.
I will do it before paint.
Yeah, because I think in some cases, people like shouldn't be afraid of like re-exporting their models, because sometimes I've seen cases in different applications. It's like you'd rather kind of do it once. You kind of want to have that perfect UV setup, because after the fact, when you are all done with your painting, if you re-export it, things are screwed up. But you are saying you'll be able to easily re-export stuff. You may actually want to. You're saying that's
Yeah.
actually interesting. Cool.
Um,
This model looks very interesting, by the way, and I'm going to make one more comment. Maybe you have a different agenda, but I see PBR applied here.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's PBR because we have all channels. We have the color. Also, if I press C, for example, you can see on the left screen each channel. So this is the color channel. This is the roughness, the metallicity, the height, the normal map, which gets generated automatically from the height and emission.
Interesting.
So we can easily go through all and paint on each at the same time. Also, you can disable and enable
Each channel. Yeah,
Yes.
I see.
There are plans for 2 more channel at least, but at the moment, for the pre-alpha, I was focused on this.
Yeah, and what would those two be?
Transmission,
Okay.
I wanted, and AO, ambient occlusion.
Yes, the
Because,
big guy, AO. Yeah.
yes, because I implemented my own AO baking part. So I have, for example, I have here a section is called filter.
Okay.
There are different filters in for correction. You can color correct,
Okay.
or the brightness correct of a normal channel without color.
Yeah.
Then a blur filter, gradient, noise. If you, for example, let me say you want, you don't want this clean look.
Yeah.
You can apply such different noise and to get a bit more dirty look for
Nice. And then finally, I saw ambient occlusion in that.
yes, and the fit. So the ambient occlusion in the filter section just apply on the texture. So it uses the height map to create. If I go here on, if I go on,
yeah.
I can display only the mask. And if I look here now, you see it's only where the depth of the texture is.
Yeah, so the height map is used to create the ambient occlusion.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, there are different settings, like how the rays get casted uniformly, random. Random again, if you like to have more dirty look or a more rough look.
Okay.
I would prefer you can blur the result. You can, of course, color correct if you want harder edges.
Yeah, the fine tuning. So
yes.
it might be important. Yeah.
Also, the different blending modes at the moment is normal, add, subtraction, multiplication, minimum value, and height value, maximum value.
Maximum. Cool.
So it gives the texture already a bit more of a depth.
Yeah.
And to get it a bit more realism or a bit more effect, we can use also the baking part, which is where I created mask. I can see here preview of my baking of the mask.
Okay.
I can bake different parts. For example, the position. So I can, for example, do blending from depth to high, from the ground to the top, or I can, of course, inverse it. I can use it from right to left. It's all settings, a lot of.
Oh, I see. So it's like here, those cylindrical objects are closer to us, so we see them more white. But also,
yeah, they're from the
they
ground.
get
Now at this moment, it's depending from the difference from the ground plane to the height.
Oh,
this
also
is good.
the height too. I see. Okay.
Yes, and this is good if you want to do some, let me say, cracks or let me dirt, for example. If you want the dirt only on the ground, you can adjust the position. So you get the dirt at the moment. So let's decrease the height a bit. Apply. So you see now project only.
It's all rough there. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to make a comment about that. When you were showing the noise filter, I thought of like grunge, it's called, like some kind of like dirt texture that you can apply to some surfaces instead of like just the whole area instead of being a noise. So you have some transparent areas and some sort of grease patterns. But this last thing you showed is already doing that. So you were able to make only the bottom part of the buildings looking kind of pitted and rough.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you already have that place.
Yes.
Cool.
So also you can do normal directions. So let me put back full scale. I need to reset this. So then you can also bake the normals. It means, for example, if you have grass or snow, for example, then you can do only on the top to do it only on the top layer.
Yeah.
So Then
the top parts are white now.
Also, you can combine this with the height map. So you see now the mask is always on the height, always on the top, even of the height map.
So then it kind of it's not just the top parts, but it also respects its if it has crevices or some holes there.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
So for example, if you bake it now, you can do dust or sand.
Maybe it's a desert environment and sand built up. Yeah.
Then ambient occlusion, of course. Oh, I inverted still the mask.
Yeah, we see the edge detection. Yeah.
Yes. Blur. So now it's a bit clearer. Then there's also possible thickness. And another option I will do, but it's not finished, is light to get, for example, if you have a small light on the building, to bake in some lightning.
So it's a light mapping. Yeah, I see. So instead of like light being a physical object, light is presented as part of the texture, so it doesn't take that much CPU resource.
Yes, especially if you use low-res textures or sprites.
Yeah.
You don't have always one real light source around.
Yeah.
Yes. Then some other, of course, you can get at these default things like mirroring is inside. It's all just a basic tool for painting. I guess it's quite useful, I think.
This is wonderful. This is so far, I mean, the most advanced painting system I've seen for like specifically for, I mean, I wouldn't say for Godot. I mean, you can actually use this for any game engine, like to create assets, basically, not for Godot's sake. But the product itself is made with Godot is the reason why we are doing.
Yes.
But for its own merit, like I said at the beginning, this has so many of those features that people find in Substance Painter. That, as you pointed out, they may actually need it for different like low poly designs.
Yeah, for example, here I rendered in some lightning. This is the emission map. It's here in the emission map, and this is just baked in. This light.
Yeah, so yeah, we think there is light there, but it's actually part of the texture.
Yes.
That is, in a sense, a very cheap way of rendering light, but it's super efficient.
Yeah. If you do RTS, a real-time strategy, you don't need real lights. This is perfectly fine to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. I mean, I'm impressed by the minute.
Also, I made in a small library. You also can add, of course, it's just basic stuff. You can add presets, delete it, create shades. Then it will create one from the left side to the right side, 4 shade grades.
Okay.
Yeah, and a few settings for the scene if you want to have extra light to showcase.
You say a few, but I already see a scroll bar, so that's more than a few. which means it's great. It's cool. So I see shader there, ambient light. So it's like you could stack up a bunch of like you could stack up shaders, I believe.
Ambient light, not direct ambient light, is only for lightening the model in the preview.
Okay. So what about, like, I see pixel light V1, V2? Am I correct? No, number 1, number 2.
Point light.
Point light. Oh, okay. This the font size is a bit small for my, but I think yeah, you got me.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, this it's only for let me say if you want to do showcase or you want to see it.
Oh, I see. The say in real light conditions, the scene is going to look like this. So you are simulating that.
Yes, exactly.
Aha.
That was the idea. If you do some, if you do, let me say, a sci-fi models, and they are always in a shady green, metallic style. Maybe you want to have the environment like this. You want to, yeah, see how it's work in the Godot engine and with the lights you want.
Yeah. So in a sense, like, it's great to have this light functionality, because when you are done with your texture painting, you don't want to go back and forth between Godot just to try the lighting system. So you could already simulate that here. That's really that's the main benefit I'm seeing here. So
Yeah.
awesome, cool.
Yeah, this currently the main functions. A lot of people asked me already a few other stuff. I mean, the main request I got from people who wrote under my video was the painting in 3D.
Yeah.
Which I made possible for something like the stump here has some difficulties because I want to stay as much as possible pixel perfect and don't do interpolation between pixels.
Because that actually now has to act like a decal, and then it has to be on the side surface as well as the top surface.
Yes, and it gets stretched and you get blurred out pixels. So this, for some tools like this stuff, it's still, maybe I find another solution soon, but it's not possible at the moment. But you can use it for here.
Yeah.
On one surface, it's possible.
See, the thing is, I'm glad we are recording this and making it show, because someone out there in the community may hear this and then provide you the solution, that the technical aspect of it, and you'll just implement it. This looks great.
Thanks.
And the process seems so simple and straightforward. This is not the kind of work I'm doing right now, but I can totally see myself using this instead of investigating another solution.
Yes, I made it. I mean, the reason I made it is because I searched for a tool to do such stuff, and there's not much there outside.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I started it. Because before I really wanted to do just a small application for fast, and then I had so much fun to, if you have one time, if you have the frame, which provide all functions you need, it's so easy to implement new features, and it makes fun to add always more and more. That's the reason I added a lot of baking stuff, because it was just fun to do the stuff, to figure out, to optimize the rendering.
So in a sense, what you are saying sounds like when I was 10 or 11 years old, I was playing Civilization. That effect, just one more turn. So it's like for you, like playing a game, and it's like just another 5 minutes. That turn into, let's include something else in this tool, and then let's add another bake type, and then that almost turned into a game itself. So that you had like so much fun. That's what I'm understanding. And yeah, I totally share your enthusiasm here. It looks fun to keep adding. Yeah, cool. So yeah, walk us through this X.
Yes, This is also a model I made at the first version. And I just wanted to show maybe the possibility to export. If I select now a folder,
Okay.
I have this export window, which is maybe similar also to, not quite similar, but to Substance Painter. You can click on which channel you want to export. Also, you can compress the channels to what you want. If you want roughness, black is 0, white is just 1, and then you can also add each channel you like and make a compressed texture.
Okay. So
And
by compressed, maybe I'm not familiar with the terminology. Does it create a zip file or?
No, I just compress more than one. I mean, I call it compressed, but I just added more than one channel per texture. So this texture can contain up to 4 channels into one.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, everyone has different preferences. I mean, I like to make roughness, ambient occlusion, and metallicity in one texture for my project.
Oh, okay. So you are using the RGBA channels to store the other the maps in.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense.
It's just that everyone has his preference.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to have this in. Also possible is to change in the settings the way the normal map gets calculated. It's Sobel, pre-width, cross is yeah, a bit other way. And the way Godot calculates, as far as I know, I looked in the C++ code from Godot, and this is the way, I guess, how Godot calculates the bump map to normal map.
Yeah, when you import a texture, Godot sometimes asks like you want to turn this into a normal map, and it does an internal conversion.
As you see, when I change the way the X looks completely different. So it is recommended to change this at the start, that your painting is more on this feedback. Because if I change in the afterwards, maybe it looks not like it was intended to be.
Because the input has changed, so you are.
The normal map calculation is different. Also possible is import. Import is just create a sprite. For example, if I have this sprite of this stature, I can adjust here the height channel, which I want to generate from it.
Okay.
And the roughness, sliders, and then I got this.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's actually a 2D image. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
So it's also for sprites.
Yeah.
Simple, easy. So because you can paint on each layer at the time. Also, when you import, it generates a basic color palette for you. You also can always change and addition to.
Yeah, maybe there's like an amulet that's glowing now. Yeah, or the eyes are.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff is possible.
Yes. So in a sense, yes, it's a texture painting tool, but you don't need to. Not like when you imported this 2D image, you are still able to paint it because essentially you've always been painting 2D pieces. In the case of a 3D model, it's just wrapped and rendered in that view, and then you have the light option that you were previewing. If the light was just going around the building, that's the example. So, but yeah, like we are showing right now, there's nothing stopping you from actually just making a 2D editing too. So it's like this is turning into like an all-inclusive tool right now.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Have the
You can also cross tiling, as you see.
Yeah.
Tiling is also possible. That's so far. current stand of the product. I have a lot of ideas in head. My problem is mostly time.
Yeah.
But I have still a lot of ideas.
This looks so interesting and so feature complete, but we will welcome those ideas when you have time. We'll wait for you to implement them, and we'll be happy to use them, and then you'll be happy to try new things and complete your because yeah, from our conversation, I can only imagine how much fun you've had with this, like building this tool.
Yes, it was
Because
really fun.
sometimes I do that too. It's like, am I building my game, or maybe I need to do a bit of tool development? Like, there's fun in it, uh, but I never take it as far as you have done, which is admirable. So this is a great tool. So any plans to release this when you feel it's ready, whether you want to have a paid model or a free model? Like, maybe you don't want to answer that question. Maybe it's up to you.
Yes, I planned to release it as soon. I'm happy with the features and the bugs are out. Before I plan some alpha phase, I will maybe, if someone is interested in and is good at pixel art or low poly painting and modeling, I would be happy if someone can contact me and to give him an alpha version to show, to see, to get feedback. Until now, only I tried and I do the best, but maybe if someone other use it, it has other different of view on it.
Yeah.
And when it's so release it, I thought maybe for €8 or $8 or something like this, or 10, I don't know. Depends how much the people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah. So we could definitely share this in some like Discord channels. I know some people who might be interested in this for gameplay testing, or like, I mean, that's the official term, but in this case, like you said, they have skills in painting and they will actually test the tool. And then price model wise, that's a cool looking candle too. Price model wise, yeah, I think 𝐥𝐢𝐤 may have some examples. Nowhere near as feature complete as yours. I think that could be a comparative like case.
Mhm.
So, but definitely, I think a tool like this deserves every penny.
Thank you. Always happy.
So this is another great example of a low poly candle. I look at the UV map, and then the finished work, that the 3D presentation looks so cool. Like, I mean, it's low poly, but there is enough details there, and yet it could be as low poly as possible. So
Yes,
great.
and you can, I mean, I faked here a bit the translucency
Yeah.
in
The
which
subs this what was it called? Subsurface scattering.
yes, for
Yeah.
example, I just
Yeah.
painted here a bit of emission,
Mm-hmm.
really slightly emission.
Yeah.
And you get this shine on the edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that part
Until,
is, yeah, like the light has to transmit through. Yeah.
yes, until I have the other channel I wanted to add, but for
Yeah.
this I faked
Yeah.
the lightning.
Yeah, so this already looks impressive, but you are saying with the inclusion of AO and then the transmission channel, you said that two channels will be added. I
Yes.
bet things will look even more impressive. So cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So in terms of building this tool, like the Godot experience part of it, we have talked about the tool, which is great, but I think there is a different side to this story, that you have used Godot engine to build a product like this. Would you like to talk about the Godot aspect of like using Godot to build software, because you could have used C++ to write this tool too.
Yes.
Yeah.
The good part is Godot has a lot of good. Godot is slim. It's so easy to use. For example, I also tried. I mean, I have a lot of different projects. If you look on my YouTube channel, you will see I made a lot of stuff, like a small shooter game or such dungeon stuff. And I also tried Unity, but I didn't like it. It was really blown up. Too much stuff inside I don't need. And I get really used to the way Godot handles stuff and do it. I'm really happy.
Yeah, the
With it.
simplicity did not limit you.
Yes. Uh, yeah. But yeah, Unity was not for me. I mean, there was a lot of stuff on Godot at this time, which was a bit problematic, especially when I made my shooter example. Uh, a lot of stuff which nearly made me stop using Godot. But with Godot 4.0, I'm really looking forward, and I can't wait for the first alpha with C# support.
But you know, no matter which version it will be, and it might be, we will always wait for Godot. I think that's always going to be the
Yes.
joke. So, but yeah, a lot of people are very excited about 4.0.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is like a business question more likely, but maybe by the time you feel ready, like you feel ready about releasing this tool, maybe 4.0 will be out. Would that be a decision for you to hold back and then do the proper conversion to 4.0, or just
Um,
release it as it is, and then maybe a year goes by, then you can do the 4.0 things out of the way, you get, because I'm pretty sure when you upgrade the project to 4.0, that will also come with its own set of bugs native to 4.0 kind of.
yeah, I mean, this project at the start was not planned to be so big, but now I get a bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And it is more like a filling in for waiting for Godot.
Yeah.
As soon Godot 4.0 release, I want to start with 3D stuff again.
Okay.
I mean 3D game programming, and of course, if I sell it, I will always support it. I always will get bug fixing
Yeah.
or adding some new features. But with Godot 4.0, I want to start again a 3D game and with the use of this tool.
Yeah. Of course,
And
with always the danger that you may find another idea to create a different. I know because I kind of find myself in that. Recently, I created a whole bunch of custom plugins that actually facilitates asset creation for 3D models. Like I have 3D models, but I want to create game objects out of those 3D models that actually have some scripts attached to it. Because I have hundreds of models, that actually by itself may even turn into a product, but I don't think it's marketable because it's sort of custom for my game. But I often I understand what when people sort of like want to build a game, but then it's like it turns into a different kind of project. So game may have to wait, and then before you know it, you have a beautiful tool like yours. Yours has turned into a very nice, productive distraction in the end, which may
thanks.
actually pay off. And whatever price you set for it, awesome, cool.
Thanks.
As far as the Made with Godot YouTube series goes, um, we might conclude here. If you have anything else to show, I'd be happy to see and present to our viewers. Um, so feel free to share more stuff, more plans, maybe business plans, maybe YouTube channel updates, those plans too.
Yeah, and what I plan in the future is more videos about the features. The next video will come soon, maybe in a week,
Okay.
where I just present the new features which I implemented.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the hope that some people like to do alpha testing. We will see.
So where can people reach you basically for the alpha? Like they apply, should they just go find your YouTube channel and then send you a comment? Because I would actually put it under the description, like in the description. So the way to reach you.
Yes, best way is to go to get me in contact with me over the YouTube channel on the comments after I posted the video,
Sure.
or over the Discord channel. I'm in the official Godot channel, also in the German Discord channel.
Okay.
So you can reach me there under the name 𝐼𝐤𝐤𝐤.
Okay.
Yeah, I always open. If you contact me, I will always reply.
Okay. So I'll mention these important points in the description just in case people didn't make it this far in the video. So more chance for you to get the attention.
Thank you.
So on that note, I think we could conclude here. So I'm glad we met. You know, we'll get to use your tool one day when it's out. Until then, we'll have to be patient. Okay. So awesome. Thank you so much for being part of the show, and good afternoon or good evening to Germany.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, did you like it? Please check the description area down below the video to see our guests' other works. We'll be doing more of these talks, so don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.